Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today we're gonna be checking out the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Raphael action figure from the folks over at Super7. That is right, my friends. Look, I have been very excited about this line since it was first announced last year at PowerCon. Obviously, if you follow me on this channel, you know that I'm a huge Ninja Turtles fan, and I love that all of a sudden, within the past couple years, we have finally had a bunch of different collector figures for this brand, something that we never really had before now. And this line is based specifically on the original Ninja Turtles action figures, just done in kind of a modern, super articulated collector action figure, and I'm really excited for it. So, Wave 1 is finally in everybody's hands, and this is what the packaging looks like. I think it is gorgeous. Super7's been nailing the packaging for their Ultimates figures. Very, very nice. I love that sewer lid look on the front with the turtle face, Raphael size, and that's a slip cover. You can see that we can remove from the figure, which has this beautiful window box on the inside. I love kind of the green sewer brick look with the graffiti and the pipes wrapping all the way around. We even have a little bio for the character on the back of the box there. Just absolutely amazing packaging. I can totally see this being one of those types of boxes that mint in box collectors are really going to like, because I think these will display really well. They're big, so they're going to take up a lot of space, but they display really, really well. And here you can see Raphael with all of those accessories, so many accessories. So let's go ahead and get this guy pulled out of the box so we can get a closer look at him. All right, so here we are with our brand new Raphael figure outside of the packaging. And as always, let's start with the scale. So this is a 7-inch scale toy line. The turtles are a bit shorter than that. Raphael here stands right at 6 inches tall, but these guys are real beefy, real chunky, because the overall look and the aesthetics that Super7 is trying to capture with these figures is that of the vintage action figures from Playmates Toys. So the design of this guy is specifically inspired by that original action figure. So for scale purposes, let me just stand him alongside the NECA Shredder, just so you can see how this guy measures up. Now, Shredder is still taller than him, which is good. That's how Shredder should be with the turtles. But you can actually see just how much bulkier the turtle is compared to that Shredder. So he is definitely a bigger turtle. And since this is the first one of these we're looking at, we'll do this right out the gate. It's Rapharison time. I'm just going to throw this Raphael in with several other Raphael action figures from various collector lines, from NECA Toys and DC Direct and even Reveltech and SH Figuarts, just so you can see how this new figure measures up, standing alongside all of those other iterations that are out there to collect, and so you know what to expect when you order these guys. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about the overall sculpt and design. So overall, I think this guy looks incredible. Of course, this is sculpted by the team at 4 Horsemen Design. I've been a big fan of them for a long time. They sculpted all the Masters of the Universe Classics figures that I love so much, and I think they did a really good job of taking that vintage Raphael action figure and translating it to this bulked up, more articulated version of that exact same look. I always loved the vintage Ninja Turtles figures, so it's really cool getting like this particular head sculpt here, the design of the mouth and everything with the teeth gritting pose. It comes straight off of that vintage Raphael action figure. But there's some really nice new details in here that you may not have known just by seeing it from the pictures. So the belt with the big R on the middle there is certainly inspired by that vintage toy, but look at all of the extra sculpted work in the belt itself there. It kind of has like this leather-like look to it with little straps. You even have this little kind of like rivet ring over on the sides, which is really cool. There's a really nice texture on the front of the shell here that hopefully that's coming across on camera. Plus we got all the nicks and everything in there. And even on his skin, like look at the kind of folds in the skin on Raphael's neck. You got the veins and everything, which is a great nod to the vintage toys. But look at even like the pads on his knees have a great texture to them. And then the shell on the back looks incredible. I love the overall look of the shell. Great design in there, nice scratches. Again, you got those little rivets on the back. There's a little sneak peek at some of the accessories, but Raphael does have the little holster on his back, just like the vintage toy did. So overall, I really do love the look of these figures. I think the sculpting is really fantastic on this. So let's go ahead and talk about articulation before we get into all of the accessories here. So the head is on a ball joint, so it can roll around, it can look left and right. This will be swappable, which I'll show you guys in just a minute. We got these ball-like joints at the shoulders, so the arms can go upwards like this. They can move forwards and backwards. We got a swivel at the bicep. We just have single joints at the elbows, which is nice because it's kind of underneath the sculpt of the elbow pad there, so that works pretty well. You got swivels at the wrist, and you do have hinge joints at the wrist. You can see I popped this out of socket because it is on a peg for the interchangeable hands, but I wanted to show you guys that the hinges are actually on the top and bottom of the wrists, so the hands move up and down this way, which obviously is for the sword or the size, in Raphael's case, holding function there. So that's pretty cool as well. Now, the torso is fully covered by the shell, so there's no articulation here. For me, that's not really a deal breaker. I mean, I've been looking at Ninja Turtles figures a lot over the years. Most of them don't have any articulation in the torso because of the shell. NEC has been pretty good about working it in. I will say that there is definitely articulation underneath the shell. It looks like it's at the waist there. I don't know if you can see, but that's the shell's kind of sitting over like the waist there, or maybe even a torso underneath that. But look at this. You can actually turn the waist underneath the shell. Slightly hindered by the shell here where it hits the legs, but it is doable. You can rotate that a little bit. And then the legs. I definitely want to talk about the legs. So these are ball jointed. You can see the ball joints there under the thighs. The legs can spread out far, and they can move forwards and backwards, and they can also swivel there at those ball joints. However, I do feel these are very loose. I kind of feel like that's happened a lot recently on some of the Ultimates from Super 7. I hope this is something that can get corrected, because the waist there, look at how the waist kind of bobbles, and then the legs themselves just feel a little too loose. Now, they're not really wobbly. That's his waist that's kind of wobbling right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the waist is really wobbling when I shake the figure. And then these just feel really loose up there. Now, I'm not having too many problems with balance or anything. I mean, you saw the legs just kind of split there, but like if you find a good stance, he stands fine. So he's not like so loose that he's falling over. I just definitely think these need to be a little bit tighter there at the thighs. We have single joints at the knees, which is underneath the knee pads there. So those are really nice. And then the ankles can move forwards and backwards as well as rock side to side. In fact, I love like the way these turtle feet are done. Also, look, painted toenails. The way that we got the rockers on the side works really well. Like I've been very impressed just kind of posing him around for my pictures, how we can get the feet to stand flat on the ground pretty much in any pose we get him in. So that definitely helps with the overall look of the figure and the balancing with the figure. I definitely think the ankles are fantastic. So my only real nitpick is with the thighs and the waist there, because that just feels a little too loose. I don't feel like it should be moving quite that much. So otherwise, I'd say the articulation is on par with what I would expect out of the Ultimate figures from Super 7, and it functions pretty well. Now, this guy comes with a whole bunch of accessories. So let me go ahead and bring all those in. So that's definitely one thing that Super 7's been doing with all of these Ultimate figures, is really packing them out with a ton of accessories. So this guy has got all these interchangeable hands. Look at this. So many interchangeable hands. And I showed you how you can pull the hand out of socket. It's just on a little peg there. It's a very thin peg. That always worries me a little bit, but it doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything. Just something you want to watch out for. So most of his hands are gripping hands. And I will be perfectly honest, most of them look very similar to each other. Let me just show you an example. So we have for each side, the left side and the right side, we have 3 gripping hands, and I think that there are various levels of grip. Like this one definitely looks like it's a tighter grip than this hand. This one's got a little bit more of an open hand for like the ability to hold the size through the fingers, but they are still very similar. And to be honest, all of them hold onto the weapons just fine, so you almost don't need this many gripping hands. they're just so similar to each other. And then aside from that, we also have an open hand, which is good for some other types of poses or holding onto a few of the other accessories like the slice of pizza that I'm going to show you in just a bit. So yeah, all those interchangeable hands, and they're easy just to kind of plug right there into the wrist. So aside from all of those interchangeable hands, Raphael also does include an interchangeable head. And this is pretty cool. I always love seeing stuff like this. So like I said, that head's on a ball joint. It is very, very tight. It takes quite a bit of work actually to pop the head off of that joint. But you can see what the neck peg looks like there with the ball. And then you can get the new head. And again, it's going to take a little bit of work, but you can pop that on in place. Boom, just like that. And now we've got a completely different look for Raphael. Now, as far as I know, this is a totally unique sculpt. I don't think they based this on anything specific. They just wanted to create alternate heads for their Turtles action figures. It certainly has a bit of a comic booky look to it, but it's awesome. I think it's a really, really nice alternate head, especially if you're not somebody who really wants the toy look with this figure. You do have the option to pop this head on instead. All right, so now we can get into all of the weapons. And the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that all of Super7's TMNT figures are going to come with this sprue with the weapons attached that is fully unpainted, which is a direct nod to the vintage toy line. Of course, you guys probably remember that, especially with the Turtles specifically. Their weapons always came on these little sprues that you had to pull them off. So if you wanted to, you could pop these off, you can cut these off, you could use these unpainted brown weapons just like on the vintage toy line. But I have a feeling that many of you are going to use the fully painted weapons instead, because yes, this figure comes with all of these exact same weapons, fully painted, and not attached to a sprue. So you don't even need to remove these from here if you don't want to, because you've got options. So of course, Raphael comes with this size, and I found this really interesting. He comes with 3 pairs of size total, because you've got your unpainted brown ones over here, but then you've also got a pair that's just cast in silver plastic with the black painted on the handles, but you've also got ones that are painted metallic silver. I don't know why. So in the package, he comes with these unpainted ones, or like the ones that are just cast in the silver plastic in the holsters in his belt. But then you've also got these packed in with the figure with the shiny silver metallic paint. So I don't know. I guess maybe if you don't want the shiny silver, you've got the option for just these. It's kind of amazing that Super7 gives you so many options. I probably only need these. These are the ones I like the best. But again, you've got options here. So there's lots of different ways you can mix and match things with this figure. So with these metallic silver ones, I don't know if it's the paint globbing on here. That's kind of what it looks like. At the tip of both sides, I don't know if that's coming across, but it's definitely got these globs of paint, it didn't go on smoothly. So it makes the tip of the size look a bit strange. That's a bummer. Obviously, we don't have that on the ones that aren't painted with the metallic silver paint. So that actually makes them look a little bit better. I don't know. I like the shine of these, but I like that these are a little more clean. I don't know. So I guess that's why it's a good thing I've got options. Also, these are very pliable, so these might come out of the box a little warped. It doesn't take too much to straighten them, though, and that's pretty typical with a lot of pointy weapons on toys. So like I said, all of these hands seem to hold on to these pretty good. You do have the one pair of gripping hands that are a little bit tighter than the others. In fact, I think I've got 2 different gripping hands on here. Yeah, so you can see this right hand over here is gripping a little bit tighter, so it gets a nice solid grab on here. This one's a little bit looser, but he still holds on to it fine. Plus, when you mix and match all of the different hands, you definitely can get the poses where he's got the fingers wrapped around the center blade, which is awesome. That's always one of my favorite ways to pose Raphael figures. So between all those different hands, you do have a lot of different options for posing Raphael with his size. Plus, like I said, you can always holster them right there on the front. So he comes with all those other little accessories, kind of like his training weapons or whatever, which come straight from the vintage toy. We've got this little bladed weapon. The fully painted one is awesome because it's metallic silver. You got a nice brown handle with a nice little kind of black wash on there. And that can fit in his hands, or it can plug under the holster on the back of his belt. just like on the original action figure. And then aside from that, we've also got the other little handheld bladed weapon. We've got this longer weapon. I don't know the names of these. You'd think after all these years of reviewing Turtles toys, I would know the names. I'm terrible at this. I'm sorry. But these weapons are all included. Again, you can get them fully painted, but you've also got them unpainted on the sprue. So however you want to display them with your figure, you've got your options there. And he even comes with a pair of throwing stars. Again, something that was included with all of the vintage Turtles figures in that original wave there. You got the fully painted ones that are nice and metallic silver. Just like Ninja Stars with a lot of figures, it's kind of hard to get the figure to hold them. His gripping hand does okay with grasping onto it, so you can get it. I don't know a lot of people that pose their figures holding onto the Ninja Stars, but you've got them there, so that's cool. We've also got something that didn't come with the original figure, which is the Turtle Com. And we've got that in two different forms. We've got it folded up, and we've got it opened up there. And this is fully painted with a lot of paint deco on both of them. It looks really, really cool, and it's just an awesome little inclusion to have with this figure as a bonus. And of course, he's a Ninja Turtle, so he also comes with a slice of pizza. Looks like we got a slice of pepperoni pizza there, and he can actually hold on to it by swapping out the different hands there. So that is another fun inclusion with this figure. All right, guys, it's comparison time. So I keep talking about the vintage action figure that this is based on. So let's stand the two side by side so you can see what they look like. And that way you can see exactly where all of the details for this new figure were taken from. And you can see how he scales alongside that original Raphael action figure. And hey, I want to do this, because this right here is a tale of two Ninja Turtles sculpted by the Four Horsemen. That's right, the original Mirage Comics Turtles from NECA were sculpted by the team at Four Horsemen Design, and now we've got this brand new one based on the original toy from Super 7, also sculpted from the team over at Four Horsemen Design. It's really cool because both of these do a great job of capturing the look that they were going for. And there you go, my friends. That is a look at the brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Raphael action figure from the folks at Super 7. So I do have some nitpicks, as I pointed out throughout the video. I think my biggest gripe is with the loose joints in the hips and at the waist. I'd like to see those tightened up. I know this is the first wave of Turtles from Super 7, so maybe this is something they can tweak as they go. But like I said, I still can balance them fine. He poses around pretty good. He's got so many accessories, more than I'm going to use, but that's part of the reason that the price point's higher on these. Lots of paint apps, lots of accessories. They're direct to market. And Super 7 sells these as open pre-orders. They usually open these up for a full month so you can get your order in and then they close it. So this first wave of Turtles is sold out everywhere now. Big Bad Toy Store had them in stock at the same price as Super 7 because they have a deal with Super 7 where they sell them for the normal retail price. But Wave 1 is now gone, so it's going to be very hard to track these guys down on the aftermarket, unfortunately. But if these look interesting to you, I'm telling you right now, don't hesitate to pre-order the rest of the waves. Head over to Big Bad Toy Store if you need to. Stay tuned to Super 7 because I have a feeling these are all going to sell out like this. And these are really fun. I really do like these. And I'm going to say it again. I love that we're getting so many versions of the Turtles from different companies because I think there's room for all of these. And it was just a few short years ago, collectors couldn't even get Ninja Turtles toys. We only had the toys from Playmates and stores that were geared more towards kids, and those are fine, but I love having some collector-based toys, and I love that we have all these different styles. I think this Raphael is a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to all the villains in this line, so there's definitely going to be some exciting reviews coming up. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.